Coming up at 6, it's the 100th anniversary of the Falk nutrition program. How far has Syracuse come when it comes to nutrition? And what will the future look like?
The chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee attacks President Trump, why he said the president could cause World War III.
And the trailer for the new Star Wars is out. What does The Last Jedi mean? Is it a trap? We might have to wait until December to find out. All that and more ahead.
This is CitrusTV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Our top story tonight, the city of Syracuse may start to recognize Indigenous Peoples Day instead of Columbus Day. I'm Federico.
And I'm Elissa Candiotti. While Syracuse University has celebrated Indigenous Peoples Day for 2 years now, the city of Syracuse still recognized yesterday's national holiday as Columbus Day.
The city of Syracuse votes tomorrow night to change the recognition of Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day. CitrusTV reporter Byron Tollefson is here in studio to explain the latest in the controversy.
Columbus Day has been a federal holiday in the U.S. for nearly a century. Traditionally, there's a ceremony at a Columbus monument in downtown Syracuse, but this year, that didn't happen. The city of Syracuse still recognizes Columbus Day, and a statue remains downtown in Columbus Circle. However, not everyone is happy with the statue's placement. Members of the Neighbors of the Onondaga Nation protested there yesterday, and the organization's leader says the statue is a clear reminder of genocide and racism. Here at Syracuse University, students celebrated Indigenous Peoples Day for the second year in a row. Local Indigenous peoples say the fight goes way beyond just Columbus. They're trying to preserve their land and culture, as well as stop discrimination. Regina Jones is the assistant director of the Native Students Organization, and she also says there's more important issues than just Columbus.
It's about our survival. I mean, throughout war and genocide in the boarding schools.
A panel at the Hall of Languages dove deeper into some of these issues. The 4 speakers included Indigenous students and professors. They say that the U.S. government is violating treaties and wrongfully taking native land. They also say their culture is being threatened, with projects like the Dakota Access Pipeline constructed over sacred places. Diane Weiner is an ally to the cause, and she attended the event.
The Indigenous peoples in this city and in this community and in this campus are not vanishing, and if they do vanish, it's because of oppression, and that we can't be idly watching that occur.
The Syracuse School Board votes tomorrow whether the city will replace it with Indigenous Peoples Day. If the vote passes, the district will no longer acknowledge the holiday starting next year.
Byron, outside of the city of Syracuse, to what extent is Indigenous Peoples Day being celebrated?
So you already have 4 states across the board that don't recognize Columbus Day. You've got Alaska, Hawaii, Oregon, and South Dakota. But what's more important here is the recent uptick of cities that do support Indigenous Peoples Day. Over the last 3 years, you have 60 cities that have come out and supported Indigenous Peoples Day. It's the new national holiday there. And just last week, you have Salt Lake City and Los Angeles joining them. On the other hand, just yesterday, New York City had its 75th anniversary of a celebration to promote Columbus Day, and you had 35,000 people participating, so it goes both ways.
Wow, and how likely is it that the Syracuse School Board is going to vote to recognize that day?
Well, Syracuse.com actually did a poll yesterday where they asked that same question, and they surveyed 6,000 people, and 58% of the respondents said no, we don't want to get rid of Columbus Day. So there's definitely a stark divide on this issue. Personally, I feel that it will pass because the university set a model on this just in 2016 where they made it a national holiday. However, it's very split both ways, so it remains to be seen.
Thank you, Byron.
Thank you. Syracuse residents are continuing to voice their support for the project to tear down the I-81 viaduct. Supporters gathered in Hanover Square at noon today to participate in the rally for the grid. The plan hopes to divert highway traffic around the city or onto the city streets. Supporters of the project believe that by removing the viaduct that runs through downtown, it will help reconnect the city and provide opportunities for economic development.
I think it will benefit the city of Syracuse. Cities all over the country have been doing this and taking down the highways that tear their fabric apart, and it's been wonderful time after time. They have had more connected communities, more opportunities for housing and for people to be involved in the city, less of that pollution from the cars going and trucks going by and noise, and more of a sense that it's really a community.
Traffic is flowing normally after a crash temporarily rerouted inbound buses this afternoon. A connective corridor bus collided with a van on Euclid Avenue and Comstock Avenue around noon. At least one person in the van was taken to the hospital. The victim's condition is unknown. All bus routes are now running normally.
Preparations are being made for a flu vaccination clinic taking place tomorrow on campus. Syracuse students and university employees with a valid SUID can get a free vaccine from 11 to 3 in Flanagan Gym. Local and university health officials are sponsoring the clinic, and students do not need to make an appointment. The SU Student Association is continuing to announce new projects and initiatives for the coming year. SA members allocated an additional $2,000 toward hurricane relief and service trips to Puerto Rico and Houston. The board voted to fund 1,000 free tickets for Friday's football game against Clemson. Additionally, the Chancellor's Council presented Invest Syracuse, a $100 million project to improve the student experience. The Syracuse University Physics Department is planning an event to celebrate their contributions to the recently awarded Nobel Prize. The event will take place next Monday in Goldstein Auditorium. There will be a Q&A session with the researchers and a press conference after. Members of the physics department worked with researchers from around the world to help discover gravitational waves.
2 men are facing major drug charges after being caught with $5,000 worth of heroin last week. The Onondaga County Sheriff's Office announced Monday that detectives discovered more than 400 bags of heroin along with cocaine and marijuana in a Syracuse apartment. Both men are awaiting trial outside of custody.
The nutrition program at SU has been around for 100 years. CitrusTV news reporter Jenna Babyak is in studio to tell us what makes Syracuse University's program different. Jenna?
Yes, the nutrition program is celebrating its 100th year at SU. I spoke with students and faculty at the Falk College about what makes SU's program special and why studying nutrition is so important.
Nutrition kind of brings on a different aspect of health.
Students have been cooking, chopping, baking, and preparing food for a century at Syracuse University. Nutrition education at SU started during World War I when the field of nutrition was just developing.
There were a number of really prominent women who started the program as a reaction to the war efforts.
Falk College professors believe that the nutrition students should not be confined to the classroom. Nutrition students will spend hours in the kitchen preparing meals and desserts, but it's well worth it in the end when they get to eat the food they make. That's pretty good. Although a lot of the major is focused on the science aspects of nutrition,
Our goal is that students leave the program with a good science-based knowledge of nutrition.
Students say that the best part of studying nutrition is getting to prepare food.
Having the facilities to allow us to do practical work as we're learning it from lecture into lab has been phenomenal.
Nutrition students at SU definitely have a lot to celebrate. The Falk College continues celebrating its centennial with guest speakers and chefs coming to teach students about sustainable and mindful eating throughout the year.
Thanks, Jenna. Now, Connor, there is nothing better than nice, sunny degrees, 75 degrees weather in October.
Well, I mean, you're saying nothing better, but you forgot about our weather anchor, Josh Feinblatt, who's outside in that beautiful weather. Josh?
I'm standing out here on the quad where everyone else is enjoying this beautiful weather, laying out, really enjoying the sunshine on October 10th, 10/10. You know, honestly, I give this weather a 10 out of 10. That's how beautiful it was. 74 degrees was the high. It's around 70 degrees right now. Tonight, it's going to be a little bit cooler, 53 degrees. It's going to get cold, but that's around midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. So if you're home before that, it shouldn't be too cold, so you should be fine. But with all this beautiful weather that we had today, tomorrow's going to be a completely different story. So stay tuned for my full weather forecast coming up.
Thank you, Josh. After the break, President Trump lashes out at a respected Republican senator. Find out what the president had to say.
And huge news out of Kenya. Their election controversy continues. Stay tuned.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
You're watching Citrus TV News with Elissa Candiotti, Connor Federico, and Josh Feinblatt with weather. Citrus TV News continues now.
The death toll is up to 13 in California as wildfires continue to rage for the third straight day. California firefighters say the blaze in the state's wine country is the biggest of more than a dozen fires burning in California today.
Since Sunday, firefighters are forcing 20,000 people to evacuate, and over 2,000 homes and businesses have been destroyed. We will have more on this story as it becomes available.
And the fight between President Trump and Senator Bob Corker heated up today. The Tennessee senator was recorded saying some harsh words about the president.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like he's on a reality show of some kind, you know, when he's talking about.
Implied that Corker was tricked into saying what he did, which Corker says is untrue. The two have been fighting since Corker criticized Trump's reactions to the Charlottesville protests.
Twitter is stopping a, quote, inflammatory candidate campaign ad from airing on its social media platform. The Senate candidate in Tennessee is Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn, and her campaign announcement is under fire for a line about Planned Parenthood.
Blackburn says she stopped the sale of baby body parts, referring to unproven allegations against Planned Parenthood. The video is still posted to Twitter, but Blackburn cannot pay to advertise it. The First Lady is in West Virginia today visiting a drug treatment center. Melania Trump visited Lily's Place, a recovery center for infants exposed to drugs in the womb.
Opioid addiction is a national issue the First Lady hopes to tackle. This was the first visit to a treatment facility during her husband's presidency. And the Spanish region of Catalonia will not be declaring independence just yet. Their president announced today that they will put off ceding to start talks with Spain.
This does not mean they won't declare independence in the future. Their leader says they, quote, earn the right for independence, but they want to do it peacefully. Kenyan opposition leader Raila Odinga is pulling out of October election candidacy. Odinga lost to current president Uhuru Kenyatta in August.
But the nation's Supreme Court annulled these results due to electoral irregularities. In his announcement, Odinga cited the lack of changes to electoral procedures as a reason for his withdrawal. Odinga's coalition party hopes his withdrawal will delay the election and allow adequate time for election reform. Egypt is expanding a buffer zone along the Gaza Strip. Egyptian leaders confirmed that the military began clearing more than 200 acres along the border.
The state built the buffer zone to combat ISIS attacks in the north And Hamas, the Palestinian militant group that rules Gaza, has also worked to secure the border in an effort to improve relations with Egypt.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
It's great to be back inside, guys, nice in the air conditioning, but this air conditioning is not going to stick around too much longer. 60 degrees tonight. It's going to be chilly. It's going to get down to 53. Going to be cloudy tonight. And then tomorrow morning, well, first we'll look across the nation. Sorry about that. Pretty warm today, nice across the nation. In California, like we said, about those wildfires going on in the northern region of California. They've been spreading. Hopefully, they're going to be able to get that under control soon. And right in the middle of the country, there's some storms going on. And down here in the North Carolina, Maryland, Virginia area, we're going to be getting that storm tomorrow morning. Wednesday, it's going to be raining. It's going to start at around 1 p.m. It's going to be chilly, though. 55 in the morning on your way to class, 58 in noon. Then the high is only going to be around 59. So it's going to be a very chilly day, a big drop from what we saw today, tomorrow. And then tomorrow evening, it's going to be 52, and it's going to continue raining. It's going to continue early into tomorrow morning. So a lot of rain to come in the next day or so. And then we've got our 5-day weather forecast for the rest of the week. It's going to be chilly this week, if I'm going to be quite honest. 74 today, but it's going to drop into 58 tomorrow, 67, 68, and 74 is going to be on Saturday. We've got our game coming up on Friday. And it's going to be 68. It's going to be a little bit cloudy. It's going to be a little bit of a cloudy weekend, but the weekend temperature should go up to around 75, 78. But it looks like it's the end of the really hot weather for us.
Well, the end of the hot weather, but I know you said there's rain tomorrow. So when are we going to see the rain come back, or is it the end of it after tomorrow? Fingers crossed.
Sunday night, Monday morning the rain's going to be coming back. So we've got a little bit of time, but tomorrow it really hunkered down, starting around 1 p.m. all the way till 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe a little bit later. It's going to be raining straight through.
Well, thanks, Josh. Thanks so much.
Of course.
Coming up, why is this New Jersey school closed down? And could it affect schools here in Syracuse?
And get excited, the new Star Wars trailer is here. What makes it look like the biggest one yet? Stick around.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
Got a quarter?
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at Citrus TV News, your campus news leader.
Today, the Dow Jones and NASDAQ markets are reaching record highs. A major Walmart announcement today contributed to the Dow Jones increase. The company announced a $20 billion buyback plan. Walmart also plans to add online grocery pickup by 2019. Honeywell and Pfizer also announced expansion plans, which also contributed to the highs.
Schools in the Monroe Township District are closed all week due to mold concerns. According to the district superintendent, tests confirmed mold in Holly Glen Elementary School just last week. But some parents claim this has been a problem for years. According to officials, the original plan was to bus elementary schoolers to other district schools, but now that they're all closed, this is no longer a viable option.
The force wasn't with the Chicago Bears last night, but halftime captured everyone's attention. Disney unveiled its newest trailer for its upcoming film Star Wars: The Last Jedi during the halftime show. This will be the third Star Wars title Disney released since purchasing Lucasfilms in 2012. The Rian Johnson-directed film hits theaters on December 15th, and pre-sale tickets are available now.
Coming up in sports, Syracuse football's ground game improves. The Yankees prepare for a win-or-go-home contest, and how will the Knicks jerseys look different this season? All of that next. Stay with us.
Looking for these? You drive Buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent. We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness. I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it.
You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Good evening, I'm Jake Marsh. Syracuse's ground game took a step forward in the 27-24 win against Pittsburgh over the weekend. And with that, so did tailback Dante Strickland, a season-high 80 yards for the junior on homecoming weekend. Head coach Dino Babers says it's not the highlight-worthy plays that purely define success. Instead, playing small ball with Strickland goes a long way.
The thing about running the football is not those big runs. It's not those, you guys are looking at me like I'm crazy. It's not those 50 and 70-yard runs. It's the 3 and 4-yard runs. When you get a guy that's every time you hand the ball, he's going to get you 3, even though there's not a hole there. Or if he can get you 4, even though there's not a hole there, you can turn around and keep handing the ball to that guy. And I thought that Dante did a fabulous job tonight of doing exactly that.
The Orange rushed for 135 yards against the Panthers. That's equal to the amount in the LSU and NC State games combined. SU could use an improved ground game and a powerful offense this week. In fact, it might be essential to winning a game as a 3-touchdown underdog. The defending national champion Clemson Tigers come to town on Friday night. Syracuse tries to take down its undefeated ACC foe at 7 o'clock. To baseball, a transaction for one Central New York franchise is official. Earlier this afternoon, the Syracuse Chiefs announced the New York Mets are purchasing the AAA affiliate. Starting in 2019, prospects of the Amazons are going to call MBT Bank Stadium their new home. This ends a 58-year relationship between the Chiefs and the Washington Nationals. DC's agreement with Syracuse runs out after the 2018 season. Up in the majors, start spreading the news because the Yankees are still alive. After last night's 7-3 win over the Indians, New York forces a winner-take-all ALDS Game 5 with Cleveland tomorrow night. Veteran CC Sabathia gets the ball for the Bombers, facing the team that drafted him. On the other side, the Tribe sends out ace Corey Kluber to try and send his team to a second straight ALCS. The winner of that contest gets the Astros, who took care of the Red Sox yesterday in 4 games. Whoever Houston gets next round, they'll look to win their first ever American League pennant. Over in the National League, the defending World Series champion Chicago Cubs try to close out the Washington Nationals tonight. First pitch at Wrigley Field was supposed to be about 45 minutes ago, but a rain delay has halted the start. Jake Arrieta makes his 2017 postseason debut for Chicago. He goes up against Tanner Roark, who has the task of simply keeping the Nats season alive. Should Washington force a Game 5, it'll be back in our nation's capital on Thursday. To the NFL and the story that never seems to go away. Commissioner Roger Goodell wrote a letter to all 32 teams today, making it clear that he wants players to stand during the national anthem. In the letter, Goodell said he wanted to end the controversy by agreeing on a uniform approach for all teams. The Commission and the NFL have developed a plan to move past this debate about player protests. Currently, players are told they should stand for the anthem, but there is no requirement. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders says President Trump's side would support a potential change.
I think we would certainly support the NFL coming out and asking players to stand, just as the president has done. We support the national anthem, the flag, and the men and women who fought to defend it. And our position hasn't changed on that front. We're glad to see the NFL taking positive steps in that direction.
Jake, thank you so much. Citrus TV News, we'll be right back.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
That's all for Citrus TV News live at 6. Be sure to check out our website, citrustv.com, for more. I'm Connor Federico.
And I'm Elissa Candiotti. Have a great night.